It is Saturday. I know I was supposed to do this yesterday, but you are now officially checked into the Heartbreak Hotel. My name is Ricky, the handler to the one and only Ricky Stanton. Got a great show for you today, talking about a lot of good stuff, beginning with my journeys, of course, in one wrestle and a few things that maybe can help you along the way. Lovely day here in Pennsylvania via Du Bois out here in the mountains, 2 hours east of Pittsburgh. If you're in the area, look me up. We can get a burger or something. But we got a great show for you here today, and I really hope you enjoy it. We are on YouTube. Like and subscribe. You know what to do. All the YouTube stuff. It's been that type of week, man. It's been super busy, and I know you guys get that. And so I'm very, very glad to be with you. I really hope that you are living your best life as we move closer and closer to this thing called Election Day. Look, guys, gals, all in betweens, look, check it out. I do not want a timeline full of your political views. If you've got friends in the community, in the efed community, they should already know where you stand. They should already know how you feel. It shouldn't take you putting it all in your TL to. I mean, that's not those are not friends. They're followers. Then they should know where you stand and all of that. Let's be cordial. Let's be nice. Let's remember this is about e-fetting. This is not about the election. Your characters may have an opinion, but don't wear your character's name to get your personal opinion out there. We got enough of that BS going on already, and I don't agree with it. And so, but yeah, here we are, 2024. Everybody feels empowered and all that, blah blah blah. But yeah, so I want to talk about two things first before we go into getting with the AI because Blooded Nation is online and she will be doing our review of Legendary 54. If you are not part of One Wrestle Movement, be sure to check out One Wrestle Movement at one underscore Wrestle. You'll be able to find it very easy because it's all over my timeline. So if you still can't find it, go to my timeline and you'll be able to check out the link there and go to that website and join us on it's been a fantastic year of wrestling at One Wrestle. We've had a lot of great stories. Unfortunately, one that is near and dear to my heart has come to a close. That of the Broken Bride with Brianna Stanton. That character arc has come to a close, unfortunately. But the handler, great writer. I'm sure she'll be doing bigger and better things with everybody that she has created. But it's been a good run. Now, did I get everything I wanted from that arc? Not so much. I do believe we probably could have carried the character darker with the essence of the Tidebreaker. We're talking about the whole storyline surrounding the Tidebreaker Championship. It is one that has been a big conversation on the Glory side of the house. That's the other show that Stanton Enterprises manages. So the Tidebreaker has become this thing that goes way beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I've said that in the last episode. I'll say it now. The handler to Aleke Kakoa is definitely the cornerstone to that. He had some vision there that really helped create in me some different ideas of how to expand the universe of the Tidebreaker Championship. And that is something that's very, very cool. And I'm very thankful for it. And it's only going to get better. However, though, I got to do something I have not done in years, and that is reset a storyline because two of my biggest characters in that storyline, Brianna Stanton and Aleke Kakoa, are not active. And the handler, like I said, to Brianna Stanton has left One Wrestle. So maybe you found yourself in a situation like this to where some of the pieces to your story have moved on to bigger and better things. I mean, and they have the right to do that, But what do you do with what's left? You got to pick those pieces up. There's still a story to be told. How do you tell it? Who do you talk to? And that comes from great communication amongst the writers and your fed. If you know this is what you're dealing with, be sure to reach out to some people and see where their headspace is in regards to your story. Maybe you can put somebody over. Maybe you can get somebody the rub. I don't know. But I know for me, I do have a few people I'm looking at right now that I believe their characters would make sense in regards to being a future contender for the Tidebreaker Championship. I will not give those names out. I have not contacted these people, But if you just follow the writing, you'll see where things are going. That's all you gotta do. And I tell people that all the time when it comes to how I write. Just follow the writing. Most of the time, I have no idea what's going to blossom from every show result because the show results are good. They have some great in-depth information in them, and I encourage you to check them out. Legendary 54 just dropped. That's why we're doing the show today, because I like to review it afterwards and go through different intricacies. Now, guarantee we were working on the last episode with getting the AI to act right. I believe I did find a way to do that. Now it's not going to be as detailed as I wanted it to be because these results this time around were very, very long. And so it will take up a lot of time and effort. And we're already 5 minutes into the show. So, yeah, uh, talk to the people around you when you're talking about resetting storylines and see how you can begin writing towards another arc. Because that's what you're doing. When you reset the storyline, you have to write to another arc. And you got to identify the arc. You got to identify the impact. What's the payoff for the heel or the face or the tweener? You gotta identify those things so that they know, okay, this is going somewhere and I'm not just being used. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of identifying some characters that I want to work with, that I think that might be good for the Tidebreaker story. It's a matter of how that looks like in a few results or so. I don't know how long that will take, so just stay tuned. There is a rehash on the way, I guess they say, or a turn, or whatever you want to call it. There is another arc though. I do have some very cool arc ideas with a few wrestlers that I believe that would be great for what the Tiebreaker is. And just to think, it was just a novelty belt I created on AI for my Demon Time High Seas show we did earlier this year, and it's turned into something far more than that. It's writing is awesome. That's all I can tell you. Writing is awesome. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to go over with that. And the next thing I wanted to go over is when you think about characters, does your pick base match your character's demeanor? I think what made the Broken Bride arc so significant in One Wrestle was the fact that the Brianna Stanton's pick base was Becky Lynch. Her demeanor, her facial expressions, everything said underdog, said always trying to prove herself, always trying to be that person, working very hard to be that person, and still yet getting overlooked at certain times. The Tidebreaker Championship for her did its intended value, and that was to put the character over at a different level with something, some kind of turn in character that would make it even more attractive than what it was. So that is what I felt like it did for that. And again, my personal opinion is I did not get as much out of that as I thought I was going to get. And in my own critiques, I felt like we probably should have carried the Brianna Stanton character even more darker. We just didn't do it because of other things that were going on. And so it's a rare miss. Don't get me wrong, it's a rare miss. But it's all good. It's all good. And so, it's one of those things you deal with when you're writing, because you're trying to get somewhere, and we got about halfway there. So there was still enough there to see Brianna and to see the Broken Bride and to see a woman who's married to the worst man in the world, Ricky Stanton. But of course, like I said, that's no more, and so that has moved on. And so I'm going to move to my DMs right now because I told everybody to send me a topic. And I had about 20, and I'm going to pick one that I think is good. How to progress a storyline, getting one started, and what is necessary to get it from start to the finish line. How to work with and communicate with people behind the scenes on what you both want to do. All right, so let's break this down. So progressing a storyline, you got to have some kind of meat and potatoes there that goes beyond just you're rough and tough. And I see a lot of these characters in the efed community, and it is difficult to really work with that without some kind of program in place. So you want to start it with a program between you and another wrestler, of course. Then you want to talk to that wrestler in regards to what the payoff is going to be. How long are we going to go with this? Where is this going? Usually for me, I try to go at least a couple of shows. And once I evaluate whether or not if the payoff is actually worth it. The one thing I do not like, and I do not like, is overly aggressive writers. I do not like overly aggressive writers. You're doing too much. I'm telling y'all now, all you overly aggressive writers out there, you're doing too much. Leave some space for people to give you input, and most importantly, leave some space with your character to do a healthy back and forth in banter and hyping up the match. There is such a thing as overdoing something, and I feel like some e-fetters just overdo it because they want to win so bad, and they want to get over so bad, and they've been waiting to get over so bad. And I totally get all those emotions. No one gets into this game not wanting to be a champion sooner or later, but you got to leave enough breathing room for that to occur. I mean, you cannot be the overly aggressive person that not saying this person is that. I'm trying to answer the question. Is if you're an e-fetter that is always blasting people OOC behind your character, that's a problem. If you're an e-fetter that is always lost in real world stuff, but not really focusing on the e-fed world, that's a problem. Because it's kind of hard to write to that. It's kind of hard to respond to that. If you're someone who has already got some things going on with you, the person, the writer, and you're using your character to pour out these emotions, and you get mad when the opponent does not respond in a safe manner that you feel like he should respond, that's a problem because no one has ESP. No one can read your mind. You got to be communicating with your fellow opponent. It's like the pro wrestlers say, this is a dance, and everybody wants to make sure they're hitting the right steps. So my recommendation is communication, communication, communication. And you have to do it in a way that they realize, okay, you're not going to be overly aggressive, but you're not going to underwhelm either. You're going to tweet every other day. We're going to hype this match up. It's going to be a great match. We're going to really pour into it. But you got to keep first things first. If you're someone that wants that, you got to put some rules down for yourself. Am I pouring too much of my personal life into my character to where if someone says something about the character, is it attacking me personally? Or am I really, really trying way too hard to win and not really getting anything out of it? I hope this makes sense. I really do. I'm trying my best to explain it from my experience. I've been doing this for like 20 years, and I've seen a lot of good characters come and go, and a lot of it's because they're working so hard. They're working so hard to win and get that character over, and you're too much. It's like going into a room. Picture e-fed like a room at a dinner party, and you're going in. You're eating all of the hors d'oeuvres. You're yelling and you're talking. I mean, you're working so hard to be the center of attention, and you're not really reading the room. And eventually, you become more of a nuance where you get more go away heat than you do good heat. I always try to stay on the course of good heat. I never want to have go away heat. That kind of defeats the purpose of Stanton. Stanton represents, in my opinion, the example of how to grasp good heat. Not annoying heat where people are like, good Lord, she's, what in the world? I wanted to be more of a really, I can't believe you did that, or oh wow. I want to get your juices flowing on your writing, and I want you to have enough material as a babyface or as a mid carder or a tweener to respond back. And I've had some great responses back to Stanton's behaviors, which is cool, But Stanton, as of late, now he's a divorcee. It's kind of he's kind of cooled off a little bit because again, I'm kind of resetting my storylines because of the people leaving and everything. So yeah, that's why some things are the way they are. So hopefully that is clear enough. And if it's not, I'm sure the person who sent it in will let me know. But yeah, there were quite a few with that. But in another one was about the pick bases and the pick bases matching the character and how it all has to look right and sound right for it to really get over. And I do agree with that. I do agree that that all has to do that. So now, moving on from those two topics, of course, if you have any topics, put them in the chat below. I'll definitely be looking at those, and I may not respond to them this time around, but I'll get it on the next show to have some material for that as well. And of course, always share this link with your friends and your buddies on the efed world. I want to I'm putting it on YouTube to kind of have a centralized place to keep everything because a lot of folks they lose track of the audio link on X. So I figured YouTube might be a good place to do it. So we'll see how far this goes. But anyway, I do have Blooded Nation here. That is my AI. Blooded Nation, if I'm right, was the first AI-led Fed here in the EFED community. Launched a couple of years ago. It's gone through a series of changes since then because of the changes on X. So we can't run certain APIs and certain commands anymore. I was running it on a Google spreadsheet with a Google script bot. However, again, it's still kind of sketchy. So right now I've created a GPT in Chat GPT to run Blood and Nation. So we will be cranking out results weekly starting on Monday, God willing. And we'll go from there. So I'll be pulling back the old roster. If you had an NPC or a character in Blood and Nation, it will be revived again, and we'll take it from there. That's the best we can do with that. I like it. It's something that I can handle, and it's something that I think is unique to the community, and it's very unbiased. So, we'll see what happens. All right, so let's go to the review of Legendary 54 and see what Blooded Nation has to say about everything, and I'll probably give my 2 cents as she's going through. The results were put in manually through ChatGPT. There's been some conditions for her to review. You'll hear the conditions. Don't take them personally. Maybe it's something you will be able to discover about the results that you might like or don't like that you can improve on. Yeah, here goes nothing.
Legendary 54 show review. Legendary 54 was packed with drama, intense rivalries, and strong storytelling, bringing one Wrestle movement's best to a roaring Santa Monica crowd. Let's break down each match and segment with highlights, ratings, and a look at which match was the show stealer and which would have been better suited for Glory.
All right. Let's scroll up here.
Show intro, Derek James' arrival, rating 4 stars. Derek James' heel antics set the tone for his arrogant, self-absorbed persona and got the crowd immediately against him. Insulting kids and berating a reporter gave him instant heat, while his brash attitude provided a clear setup.
That was some Stanton stuff for real.
Backstage segment, Travis Levitt and Ya Girl Q 4 stars. This segment brought tension and mutual respect as Levitt requested another clean shot at Q's title. Q's reluctance to give him an immediate shot made sense given the interference in their past matches.
True.
Their handshake agreement added depth, setting up a strong storyline for future encounters. Match 1, Derek James versus Mystique. Rating, Y.5, 3.5 stars. Derek's cockiness and Mystique's determination made for an entertaining clash, though the pacing could have used some tightening. Derek's underhanded tactics got him the win, and an which fits his character, but Mystique still gained crowd sympathy. The match delivered good heat, but didn't need the spotlight of Legendary, and could have fit well on Glory, where developing talent can shine in similarly spirited contests.
Okay.
Backstage segment, Carnival of Horror. Rating or ratering 4 stars. The dark aesthetic and intense, haunting promo built up Carnival of Horror's intimidating presence. Malachi Graves, Lucian Blackwood, and Serafina Vex's terrifying promos added intrigue.
I think Serafina will find her spot in this in the carnival. I really do.
For their eventual in-ring battles. Segment, Corey Chevelle's out the Kali Kingpins. Rating, Ready 1.5, 3.5 stars. Chevelle's confident, unfiltered promo targeting the Kali Kingpins was captivating, though his insults bordered on uncomfortable territory. His mic skills established him as a force to watch, but some aspects felt overly inflammatory, potentially detracting from the delivery's effectiveness.
Well, that's the character's...
Match 2, Misery versus Ty's Empress Sticky.
That's the MO.
Rating, 4 stars. This was an intense David versus Goliath matchup. Misery's power and Ty's agility combined to create a solid back and forth. The finishing sequence with Misery crashing through a table added drama and provided a unique victory for Tice, setting both competitors up for future matches. Backstage segment, Rebecca Diamond's interview, 4 stars. Rebecca Diamond's confident and belittling promo against Nixie effectively hyped her character and the ongoing feud. The Princess Cut persona shone as she dismissed Nixie's chances and showed loyalty to the Sampson family, heightening anticipation for their match. Match 3, Nixie versus Rebecca Diamond. Rating, 4 stars. This heated contest saw Nixie's determination clash with Rebecca's overconfidence. The interference by Mason Walker and Rebecca's underhanded tactics suited her heel persona, even if the ending felt abrupt. The post-match frustration on Nixie's face hinted that this rivalry is far from over.
Not bad so far.
Braddock's frustration was palpable as he raged backstage, with Corey Chevelle and Haley trying to calm him down. This segment portrayed Braddock's unpredictable intensity and hinted at potential fractures in his relationships, with Chevelle as a more cautious counterpart. Match 4, Serafina Vex vs. Reyes. Rating, 3.5 stars.
Ooh.
The match showcased Vex's cunning against Reyes' raw power, while commentary from Chevelle and Braddock provided extra character depth. Vex's surprise victory elevated her status, though the pacing could have been improved to create more memorable spots. Segment, Douglas Crane's backstage promo. Rating, 4 stars. Crane's promo was a standout as he dissected each of his Contest of Champions opponents with brutal honesty. His disdain for Brianna and respect for Q set up an intriguing dynamic for the main event, while his split personalities added a captivating touch to his character. Match 5, Travis Levitt versus Chris Crippler. 4 stars. Levitt and Crippler's hard-hitting encounter showcased their bitter rivalry. The match's DQ finish and Crippler's disturbing post-match assault on Levitt added heat, though the storyline feels like a better fit for Glory, where their rivalry can be explored in detail. Moving this match to Glory would have also allowed more time to focus on the main event's high-stakes championship implications.
Yeah.
Backstage segment. Samantha Tolson attacks Silas Giles Jessup, 4 stars. Tolson's surprise attack on Jessup raised the stakes in the Pride title scene. Her intense promo, coupled with her calculated assault, made her intentions clear and effectively set up a future confrontation for the title, with added tension between the Stantons and her. Main event, Contest of Champions, Q versus Douglas Crane versus Brianna Stanton. Rating, match of the night.
Get right, AI.
The Contest of Champions was a thrilling main event, with each competitor bringing their best in an action-packed match. Q's resilience, Crane's dark aggression, and Stanton's unrelenting attitude created compelling chemistry. Jacob Stryker's ringside return added intrigue for future storylines, making this a memorable main event. Douglas Crane's win was a defining moment, elevating his reputation in one Wrestle movement and adding new depth to his status as Glory champion.
It got him over. Without a doubt, it definitely got him over.
Overall show rating, 89%. Legendary 54 balanced compelling in-ring action and engaging storytelling, advancing key rivalries while delivering several standout segments. Moving Levitt versus Crippler to Glory would have streamlined the card and heightened focus on title holder battles. The main event's Contest of Champions crowned Douglas Crane as the clear standout of the night, keeping fans invested until the final bell.
All right. And that's the review of Glory. I mean, not Glory, Legendary. And that's something that I think it left enough to have a very good, meaty Glory episode coming up. And I'm happy about that because that would be that's going to really lean into a lot going on with Q, a lot going on with Crane. Crane is due, Levitt is due to a certain degree. There are a lot of good wrestlers coming up now with these fantastic storylines. I felt like it this time Legendary really brought some great standouts, a lot of new, fresh characters with different vantage points. And so there is great opportunity there for everybody to really get their bid in and show why they are who they are. And with 2 shows, there's no excuse not to etch your part in the stone. It really is no excuse. And we got some other shows coming out, I believe, if I read correctly. I'm not sure if that's still the plan or not, but I do believe it is. So You got to get into this. You really got to find your place to build and to understand what you want to do in the Fed, and tell your story. I think that's the biggest thing that I find that gets past all your frustrations as a writer. Tell your story. Just tell your story. You'll get it going. You'll get it done. I tell Stanton's story in and out the ring, from his time at the Velvet Rabbit to his drinking stupors at night to now you're pretty much seeing him break up with his wife in real time. Well, they're pretty much done with that. I'm not going to develop that anymore, really. So they're you're seeing it in real time happening, and it's not a big telling about. You're just seeing it happen. So I would tell anybody to go ahead and find a place in Legendary, find your place on Glory, see where you're going to build your character and watch it grow. That's all you can really do. There isn't no real equation to making a championship character. There really isn't. But there is an equation for you being a good person and being a decent human being, or how you treat others in that process. And that's where the EFED community fails a great deal of. We get so wrapped up in our characters that we know we don't want to say it to them in person. So we'll use our character's IC status and say what we want to say in OOC, and that's trash. I don't respect it. I don't respect the person. So work not to do that, and you will definitely see a great deal of change in yourself personally, and you'll write better as an efetter. So I think that's pretty much all I really had. I thought the show was good. I felt like Ben gave it a decent rating. And of course, as we input the data into the GPT, it will only get bigger and better. So we'll be working on the conditions of the ratings and all that, and we'll keep refining as we go along. So hopefully you like that. Of course, any feedback you have, I'll welcome. My feelings are not easily hurt. Been doing this for almost 20 years, so that's just where it's at with that. So again, until next time, and enjoy life, do life. And one more time, I can't say it enough. Please don't go crazy during election day. Don't do it. Just, do you want to turn people off? Splatter all your politics all over flipping X and watch me unfollow you very quickly, because that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. And of course, keep me in your thoughts and prayers as always. I'm still unemployed, by the way, folks. I was working for the government, and I was working for an agency for the government, and me and my team got laid off since May 31st, and so I'm still looking for a job. The good Lord's taking care of me, so I'm not that concerned. I'm a man raised by men, and the men work, So this is undiscovered country for me, but I do have a little writing job on the slide. I haven't shared with y'all yet, but yeah, I do have a little writing gig that I do, but it's not really paying a lot right now. One day it will, hopefully, but until then, it's one day at a time, one prayer at a time. Don't drive yourself crazy. Don't take yourself too seriously, and just watch what God does for you. I guess that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So hopefully you are having a great day. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and we're getting it better. We're getting more comfortable with the YouTube platform. A few more hoops to jump in comparison to X, but hopefully you can keep up with me here and keep up with the different things that I think about the EFED community, and the things that I like to do, and the ideas that I do, and the maneuvers that I make that might help your characters. And like I said, if you have anything you want to add to the show for the next episode, put them in the comments. I will definitely look at them, and we will gather everything and put it in the next show. And if I find it something that is of value, if it creates value, if it adds value, and that we're going to learn something, it will be in the show. So just think about that when you leave your comments or your suggestions. We want to make this platform something that's going to help each other as writers and not tear each other down. Hopefully that was not seen in this episode. If you saw it that way, don't take it personal. I just trying to share a few of my thoughts to help you, the writer, out so that your character can stand out. Okay? All right. Thank you for checking into the Heartbreak Hotel. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share this episode with everybody that you know. And until then, we will talk to you next time. Peace.